Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a story that completely redefines the timeline of success. We're breaking down an entrepreneur's three-day journey that starts at absolute rock bottom and ends with an incredible, undeniable breakthrough in the digital product space. And the craziest part? The timeline we're going to explore spans just one single weekend. Yep, we're tracing a high-stakes, rapid-fire journey from redundancy to riches in exactly 72 hours.
I know, right? He lost his job and gained everything in 72 hours? It sounds totally impossible. We are so culturally conditioned to believe that bouncing back from a massive career blow takes months. Months of grinding, meticulous planning, and just waiting. But the source material we're analyzing today proves otherwise. It shows exactly how one forced pivot led to an absolutely astonishing weekend transformation. So let's just dive right into this and see how this incredible shift actually happened.
Section 1. Fired on a Friday, the end of the routine. Before the inciting incident, our 29-year-old protagonist, David, he had it all figured out on paper. He was a data analyst living a completely routine, predictable life. He was comfortably relying on his $6,000 monthly salary, moving along this very set track. No real chaos, but absolutely no fire rider. And then, one brief Friday afternoon meeting changed literally everything. Your role is no longer needed. Boom. Just like that, it was over. There was no warning leading up to this, no gentle transition period, and most importantly, no backup plan. It went from a perfectly stable Thursday to just a completely shattered Friday.
Section 2. The Silent Friday Night. Isolation and Fear.
Picture the stark reality of that evening. He sat there, completely alone. Zero calls coming in, zero messages of support pinging on his phone. It was just him, the visceral shock of sudden redundancy, and this incredibly loud silence. Out of that crushing silence, only one single thought emerged. What now? When the corporate safety net is just gone and your routine is broken, you're left staring into a void. And that question is the ultimate crossroads. It's the moment where fear either completely paralyzes you or it sparks something else entirely.
Section 3. 48 hours of action. Opening the laptop.
Faced with that terrifying unknown, he had a choice, right? He could have panicked. He could have fired off desperate resumes for identical safe data analyst jobs. But instead, he leaned on a personal catchphrase he'd previously been way too afraid to actually act on: start before you're ready. He completely abandoned that paralyzed, stagnant comfort zone he'd been chained to for years. See, he'd held on to an idea for a digital product, but fear of failure had kept it securely locked away. Tonight, with no perfect plan and absolutely no guarantee of success, he stepped out of his routine and into raw, unscripted action.
He took all of that anxiety and fear of the unknown and poured it directly into the work. Step 1, open laptop. Step 2, ignore distractions. Step 3, work nonstop. This was a grueling 48-hour hustle. And he wasn't just brainstorming here, he was executing. He spent Friday night and all of Saturday coding a niche analytics dashboard template for e-commerce owners. He wrote the sales copy. He set up the payment gateways. There were zero excuses left. He didn't stop to formulate some perfect long-term business strategy. He just built the product.
Section 4. Monday Morning Riches. The Tipping Point.
Okay, so after working relentlessly through Friday night and Saturday, Sunday night finally arrived. And something entirely unexpected happened. That analytics dashboard he'd finally launched into online community forums, it started getting real attention. People shared it. Complete strangers were rallying behind how useful the tool was. Momentum built fast. We're not talking about a slow trickle of interest. This was a rapid, exponential acceleration of visibility and sales. The organic traffic just skyrocketed before the weekend even came to a close.
Let's quickly review this hyper-compressed timeline. Friday afternoon, fired without warning. Saturday, pure, unadulterated action. Coding and building with zero excuses. Sunday night, the tipping point where product momentum actually catches fire online. And Monday morning, the result. Laying it out chronologically like this really allows us to comprehend the insanely time-bound, intensely focused nature of this entrepreneur's transformation.
So what exactly was that result on Monday morning? Well, he checked his bank account, and there it was. Over the course of a single weekend, he had generated over $14,000 in template sales. That completely eclipsed the $6,000 monthly salary he was terrified to lose just days prior. The very income stream he thought he desperately needed to survive had been doubled, more than doubled actually, by his own creation in a matter of hours.
Just 3 days.
The breathtaking speed of this success is what makes this specific journey so unforgettable. It wasn't magic. It wasn't some sketchy get-rich-quick scheme. It was the direct result of a forced pivot leading straight into 72 hours of fearless, highly targeted execution.
Section 5. The ultimate lesson. The push you needed.
Ultimately, this isn't just a story about making money quickly. It's a really profound look at human psychology and motivation. The comfort of his routine was actually a trap. It was keeping his true potential locked away behind this veil of safety. Sometimes, losing your job is the exact push you needed to finally start what you were afraid of. The sudden destruction of his corporate safety net was quite literally the only thing powerful enough to force him to bet entirely on himself.
Which leaves us with one vital question based on everything we've looked at today. What are you afraid to start? Listen, you don't need to wait for a catastrophic Friday afternoon to find out what you're capable of building by Monday morning. What idea is locked away right now, just waiting for you to open the laptop? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, I'll leave you to think on that.